Have you ever felt that silent call, vibrating in the depths of your being, like a forgotten note of an ancestral melody? A kind of longing, not for something you can touch or see, but for an understanding that lies beyond the surface of everyday life? It's as if a thin veil separates you from a deeper truth, a secret whispered by the universe itself. Today, let's gently together try to peek behind that veil to unravel what lies beyond the mirror of consciousness. Think about your mind for a moment, not as a mere information processor, a cold and logical machine, but as a vast and mysterious ocean. The surface of this ocean is what we perceive in daily life, our everyday thoughts, our immediate concerns, the constant flow of external stimuli. But what about the depths? What hides in the dark, silent layers of this inner sea? Since time immemorial, humanity has pondered this question. The ancient Egyptians, with their intricate rituals and belief in the afterlife, envisioned a journey of the soul through multiple planes of existence. The Greeks, the cradle of philosophy, explored the labyrinths of the mind through dialogue and reason, seeking the essence of truth and being. Plato, with his allegory of the cave, invited us to question the shadows we take for reality, and Aristotle, with his pursuit of eudaimonia, human flourishing, reminded us of the importance of cultivating virtue and purpose. In Hindu traditions, we find the rich tapestry of the Vedas and Upanishads, texts that delve into the nature of the Atman, the inner self, and its relationship with Brahman, the ultimate reality. The concept of Maya, the illusion that makes us perceive the world as separate and fragmented, echoes our own struggle to transcend the superficiality of consciousness. And the quest for enlightenment, for the union of Atman with Brahman, resonates with that deep longing we mentioned at the start. Norse mythologies, with their gods, giants, and the epic battle of Ragnarok, also offer insights into the nature of consciousness and transformation. The figure of Odin, the god who sacrifices an eye in pursuit of wisdom, symbolizes the need to go beyond immediate perception to attain deeper understanding. Do you notice how, across different cultures and eras, this search for something more has always been present? It's as if the very structure of our psyche compels us to question, to explore the boundaries of the known. Modern psychology, with its explorations of the unconscious, archetypes, and cognitive processes, offers a different lens, yet one that, in many ways, aligns with the intuitions of the ancients. Carl Jung, for instance, with his theory of the collective unconscious, suggests that we share a deep layer of experiences and symbols that shape our perception and behavior. And spirituality, in its many forms, invites us to look beyond the material, to seek a transcendent meaning for our existence. Whether through meditation, prayer, contemplation of nature, or connection with a higher power, the spiritual quest is, at its core, a journey to unravel the mystery of our own consciousness and our place in the universe. Before we continue this exploration, if you feel this journey resonates with you, if the search for understanding the depths of existence draws you in, consider joining this community of explorers of the mind and spirit. Subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for the next steps in our conversation, and leave a look in the comments as a sign that you're present in this reflection. Now, let's return to the mirror of consciousness. What happens when we allow ourselves to look beyond our immediate reflection? When we question the narratives we've built about ourselves and the world? It's in this space of questioning that true transformation can begin. Think of a river. On the surface, we see the water flowing, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent. But in the depths, there are invisible currents, a rocky bed that shapes the water's course, an aquatic life pulsing to a different rhythm. Similarly, our superficial consciousness is just part of a much larger flow. Our conscious thoughts are like the waves on the surface, while the unconscious, with its memories, repressed emotions, and hidden desires, represents the silent depths. Often, we live identified only with the surface, with our ego, that mental construct that gives us the illusion of being separate, independent entities. The ego is like the image reflected in the mirror, a representation, but not the totality of our being. And often, this identification traps us in limiting patterns of thought and behavior, rooted in fears, insecurities, and ingrained beliefs. The Journey of personal development at its core is an invitation to dive into these depths, to understand the currents that shape us, to integrate the parts of ourselves that have been neglected or suppressed. It's a process of self-discovery, of dismantling illusions, and of expanding consciousness. Psychology offers valuable tools in this process, such as therapy, which can help bring unconscious content to light and process traumas and emotions. Meditation and mindfulness teach us to observe our thoughts without judgment, to distance ourselves from identification with the incessant flow of the mind, and to access a deeper state of presence. Philosophy, in turn, invites us to question our assumptions, examine our beliefs, and seek a broader meaning for our existence. The fundamental philosophical questions, who are we, where do we come from, where are we going, echo that primal longing of the human soul. And spirituality offers a path to transcend the rational mind, to connect with something greater than ourselves. Whether through direct experience of the divine, the practice of compassion and service to others, or the pursuit of unity with the whole, spirituality reminds us that we are part of an interconnected cosmic web. Let's continue then our immersion. In this ocean of consciousness, we were talking about the importance of going beyond the superficial reflection of the ego, of diving into the depths of our being to find the currents that truly move us. But how do we do this? How can we in fact peek behind this mirror? One of the keys lies in cultivating self-observation. It's not about judging or analyzing every thought and emotion that arises, but about witnessing them with gentle, impartial curiosity. Imagine yourself as an observer on the bank of a river, watching the water flow by. You don't cling to every drop, nor do you try to control its flow. You simply observe the movement, the ripples, the reflections of light on the surface. Similarly, by observing our thoughts and emotions without identifying with them, we create a space between stimulus and response. In that space lies our freedom of choice. Instead of reacting automatically to our habitual patterns, we can begin to question them, to understand their roots, and eventually to transform them. This practice of self-observation can be cultivated in many ways. Mindfulness. Meditation, as we've mentioned, is a powerful tool for developing this capacity for presence and inner witnessing. Through focused attention on the breath, bodily sensations, and arising thoughts, we learn to disidentify from the mental flow and access a deeper layer of consciousness. Journaling, the practice of regularly writing about our thoughts and feelings, can also be an effective form of self-observation. By putting our experiences into words, we gain a new perspective on them, making them more tangible and allowing for clearer analysis. Art, in its many forms, can also serve as a mirror of our consciousness. The music that deeply moves us, the painting that evokes intense emotions, the poetry that resonates with our soul, all these forms of artistic expression can reveal hidden aspects of our inner world. By allowing ourselves to feel and connect with art, we open doors to self-understanding. And of course, our relationships with others can be a powerful mirror. Our interactions, our conflicts, our moments of deep connection, all these reflect aspects of ourselves that we might not see on our own. The way we react to others, the emotions they stir in us, the patterns that repeat in our relationships, all these offer valuable clues about our inner world. Now, let me ask a question that may linger in your mind for a while. If our consciousness is like a mirror, what do you believe that mirror is reflecting about you at this very moment? What images, sensations, or thoughts stand out? Allow yourself to simply observe without judgment the responses that arise. Throughout history, various spiritual and philosophical traditions have pointed to the illusory nature of our perception of reality. The idea that the world we see and experience is to a large extent a construction of our mind. Our beliefs, our conditioning, our past experiences, all these shape how we interpret the world around us. Think of Greek mythology and the story of Narcissus. Entranced by his own reflection in the water, he falls in love with that illusion, unable to recognize the true nature of his being. How often do we fall in love with our own mental images, with the narratives we construct about ourselves, losing sight of the richness and complexity of our true essence? The search for truth, then, involves a process of disidentification from these illusions, of moving beyond the masks we wear and the stories we tell. It's an invitation to strip away all our mental constructs and connect with the purity of our essential consciousness. This journey is not easy. It involves confronting our shadows, our deepest fears, the parts of ourselves we'd rather ignore. But it's in that darkness that we often find the greatest revelations, the hidden treasures of our soul. Continuing our exploration of the depths of consciousness, we reach a crucial point, a mystery that has intrigued philosophers and spiritual seekers for millennia. What is the ultimate nature of this reality we perceive through the mirror of our consciousness? Is what we see all there is? Or are there deeper layers, hidden dimensions awaiting our perception? Spiritual traditions often speak of an underlying unity to all manifestation, a cosmic consciousness that permeates everything. In Hinduism, Brahman is described as the ultimate reality, the source of all being and existence. The idea that the Atman, our individual soul, is, in essence, a spark of that Brahman, suggests a profound interconnection between all beings. In Buddhism, the quest for awakening involves understanding emptiness, sunyata, the absence of an inherent separate existence. This understanding frees us from the illusion of the ego and allows us to experience the interdependence of all phenomena. Even in modern quantum physics, we begin to glimpse a reality that challenges our classical intuition. The behavior of subatomic particles, the wave-particle duality, quantum entanglement, all these suggest a web of subtle connections and a nature of reality far more fluid and interconnected than we imagined. Could it be that the mirror of our consciousness is not only reflecting a pre-existing reality, but also in some way co-creating it? Our beliefs, our expectations, our attention, could these influence how reality manifests for us? Think of Egyptian mythology and the concept of Fayat, the cosmic order, truth, justice, and balance. The pursuit of harmony with Ma'at was central to the lives of the ancient Egyptians, suggesting an understanding that our own consciousness and actions have a direct impact on the order of the universe. And in Norse mythology, the web of fate, woven by the Norns, suggests that past, present, and future are intrinsically linked, influencing one another. Our individual journey is embedded in a larger cosmic context, where every choice and action reverberates through time and space. This perspective invites us to reconsider our responsibility in the world. If our consciousness is not merely a passive receiver of reality, but an active participant in its creation, then the way we think, feel, and act carries far greater significance than we might imagine. So, what is the nature of this hidden behind the mirror of consciousness? Perhaps it's not a single, definitive answer we can grasp with the rational mind. Perhaps it's an experience, a way of being, a state of consciousness that transcends duality and separation. Imagine a calm, crystal-clear lake. The surface reflects the sky, the trees around it, the passing clouds. But in the depths, there is an undisturbed stillness, a connection to the spring that feeds the lake. Similarly, our superficial consciousness reflects the world of forms and phenomena, but at its core lies a deep peace and a connection to the source of all life. The spiritual journey, in many traditions, is described as a return to that source, an awakening to our true nature. It's a process of shedding all that is not essential, dissolving the barriers of the ego, and recognizing our unity with the whole. Let me ask another question, one that may resonate on a deeper level. If you could glimpse for a moment the essential nature of your own consciousness, free from all identifications and illusions, what would you feel? What quality, what essence would you find? The answer to the mystery we've raised, what lies hidden behind the mirror of consciousness, may not be an intellectual formula, but a direct experience, a glimpse of our own divine nature, of our intrinsic connection to the universe. This search is not an escape from reality, but a deeper dive into it. It's an invitation to look beyond appearances, to question our perceptions, and to open ourselves to a vaster, richer understanding of existence. So, as we near the end of this journey of reflection, perhaps the great revelation is that there is nothing truly hidden behind the mirror of consciousness. Perhaps what we seek is always present, merely obscured by the layers of identification, limiting beliefs, and mental noise we accumulate over a lifetime. That deep longing we feel, that sense that there is something more, may in fact be a call from our own essence, a reminder of our true nature that resides beyond the ego and the rational mind. It's as if a silent melody is always playing within us, waiting to be heard amid the chaos of daily life. The pursuit of self-understanding, personal development, and spiritual connection. All these journeys are ultimately paths to remove the obstructions that keep us from hearing that melody, from seeing our true reflection in the mirror of consciousness. Think of Hindu mythology and the story of Shiva Nataraja, the king of the cosmic dance. His dance represents the creation and destruction of the universe, the constant flow of life and death. At the center of this dance, Shiva remains still, embodying pure consciousness, the eternal observer. Perhaps the key to unraveling the mystery lies in identifying with that inner observer, with the silent witness that resides within each of us, beyond the whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. And in Eastern philosophy, the concept of the Tao, the way, the natural order of the universe, invites us to live in harmony with that flow, to align with our essential nature. The pursuit of the Tao is not a search for something external, but a return to our own authenticity. The answer to the mystery of what lies hidden behind the mirror of consciousness may be surprisingly simple. It is us, in our purest, most boundless essence. We are that consciousness that observes, that experiences, that manifests through countless forms. The masks we wear, the stories we tell, the illusions that bind us, all these obscure the beauty and power of our true nature. The journey, then, is not so much about finding something new, but about remembering who we truly are, about shedding all that is not essential and allowing our inner light to shine brightly. What is your main reflection after this conversation? What keyword sums up what resonated most with you? Share in the comments below. Your perspective is valuable and can enrich the journey of other seekers. If this video inspired you, if it invited you to look within yourself more deeply, leave a like. Subscribe to the channel to continue exploring the mysteries of the mind and spirit together, and share this video with those you feel would also benefit from this reflection.